Gavin Newsom wants to get arrested. He said recently, oh, go ahead, arrest me, tough guy. And you know why he wants to do that? Let me tell you something. They saw just how much public support Trump got when people kept wrongfully persecuting him over the past 4 years. They saw how iconic that mugshot became, and all they're trying to do now is do that for their side. Paint Gavin Newsom as some sort of prolific hero, even though he's the reason for all this mess. This is their plan. They are that devious. I hope you understand that. They always planned to bring in millions of people during the Biden years.
I do want to address what's happening right now outside of the building.
Yes, at the BT Award, Doechii calls out Donald Trump and eyes while accepting her trophy. When I look at these people, sometimes I wonder if they actually know what exactly is going on. What Trump is doing is just following the law. Gavin Newsom and others refuse to work with the Trump administration to remove some of these people. So Trump took it upon himself to do the job for them. I don't know. Sometimes when I look at politicians in...
I do want to address what's happening right now outside of the building. There are ruthless attacks that are creating fear and chaos in our communities in the name of law and order. Trump is using military forces to stop a protest. And I want y'all to consider what kind of government it appears to be when every time we exercise our democratic right to protest, the military is deployed against us. What type of government is that? People are being swept up and torn from their families, and I feel it's my responsibility as an artist to use this moment to speak up for all oppressed people, for Black people, for Latino people, for trans...
I don't believe that if these people were peaceful, they would deploy the military to do that. It is because the situation is beyond control. They are attacking military vehicles. They are burning down, bringing flags from different countries. It's a call for concern. This person standing here will not address that. She will twist it like it was a peaceful demonstration. Trump decided to bring in the military. It is insane to see how some of them cannot be truthful. I have a lot of videos I've seen.
It's just beyond heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to see all these innocent, beautiful people looking for a better life, mothers, sons, daughters, fathers, who look just like my family being picked up by pogroms and disappeared into gulags and detention camps. And their only crime was being brown and indigenous, and then disappeared just like that. And then when American citizens are disgusted and protest, then Trump sends the National Guard when he couldn't even get the National Guard to go to protect our Capitol when it was being attacked in January 6th. The only reason for these mass deportations, who the architect is Stephen Miller, and it makes Trump happy, is racism. I mean, I just can't, there's no other reason. These people are innocent, loving human beings. And I'm disgusted. I can't take it anymore.
Gavin Newsom wants to get arrested. He said recently, oh, go ahead, arrest me, tough guy. And you know why he wants to do that? Let me tell you something. They saw just how much public support Trump got when people kept wrongfully persecuting him over the past 4 years. They saw how iconic that mugshot became, and all they're trying to do now is do that for their side. Paint Gavin Newsom as some sort of prolific hero, even though he's the reason for all this mess. This is their plan. They are that devious. I hope you understand that. They always planned to bring in millions of people during the Biden years and give them as much free stuff as possible so that when Trump got back in office, because they knew he was going to, and they knew they were not going to win re-election in 2024, when he got back in, the situation would be so bad with so many people who are used to a bunch of free stuff that the minute Trump came in to try to clean up the mess they created, they would then point the finger at him and blame him for all the anarchy and the chaos they knew would result as a result of their actions. They create the problem and then dare anyone to fix the problem, because for the left, all they're doing right now is trying to attract their next prospective voting bloc. There is no other reason for them to go so hard for illegal immigration unless they didn't see some sort of value in these people they're bringing in. They want to have more representation in the halls of power, and how to do that is to bring people in and then find a way to get them citizenship as soon as possible, or at least allow them to vote. That's always been the plan. That's what they're going to continue trying to do. And now they're trying to blame Trump for the anarchy that they essentially caused by bringing in people who do not care about America, people who hate America, people who hate law and order. And now their goal is to continue to allow this to happen, and they really are hoping that something will happen very similar to what happened in 2020, so they can now have a new hero to hold up and champion and say, look what the terrible police officers did. This is what their plan is. And I'll go even further and say this. This is June, right? You know what Democrats are usually up to in June, right? What does it tell you when the Democrats care more about this illegal immigration situation than what they're usually up to in the month of June? That should tell you who they see more value in trying to attract to their side. That is how you understand what their long play is. And they're going to continue to try to play this game out and get just to the point where it paints individuals on the right side, the side of law and order, in a negative light, because they care so little about the country. They would rather burn it down, literally burn it down, than see it restored, than to see law and order return to our streets. Those are my thoughts, and I'm curious what yours might be.
Now the Los Angeles Mayor, Karen Bass. Hi, Mayor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
Hi. So
Thank
what
you
are you and your police force? I know how busy you are preparing for the hours ahead. What are you expecting on that front?
Well, I just have to say that if you dial back time and go...
We don't agree with the term illegal. We're undocumented. We've been here for thousands of years before you guys showed up, screw up everything. We think we should organize together with the U.S. working class and fight together and create a better system. We're anti-capitalist. We think socialism does work, real socialism, not Venezuela, not Cuba, not any of that crap that they try to sell us as socialism. And we believe it would be a more humane system that will take care of most of all people's necessities.
Is there a country we can look to kind of model the socialism idea?
The only model would be Soviet Union the first 4 years. After that, it became a mess.
So the answer is no. No, there is no country we could look at currently that we could model it after. He doesn't like the word illegal. Yes, you're illegal. You're not here legally. That is illegal. And no, just because your race of people were here at some point does not mean you're legally here. Mexican citizens at the time of California being annexed by the US, they were offered citizenship, like US citizenship. So if his ancestors accepted that US citizenship and then he was born here, he'd be a citizen. So he's in our country illegally, says he doesn't like the system our country has been built upon, the most successful country in the history of existence. And then he wants to work to turn our country into a socialist country. Get him out.
I don't know why these people are melting down like this. When you take a look at this, Trump threatened to arrest Gavin Newsom and call early rather in extremely concerning. Gavin Newsom responded to this immediately. There is something these people don't understand. Democrats have no issues with millions crossing the border illegally, but the moment the law gets enforced in California, they scream division. They are mad. Trump is interpreting the plan and will try to gaslight the public into outrage against Trump to stop him from enforcing the law. That is what I've realized with these people. It is high time people realize what is going on.
Are productive to the very cause that you're advocating for.
Well, and it feeds into what he wanted to do. What he wants to do is he wants to create a scene. He wants to say, I was justified in sending in the National Guard because look at how violent foreign policy. His ratings are dropping.
Even
like
on immigration,
like rocks. But there's one catch.
Is it like under 30%?
Current support right now, though, is that 66% of the American public actually thinks it is crime enough to be undocumented. And therefore deported.
That it's criminal to be undocumented?
Yes, it is not. You know how the disagreement was in the beginning? We were told it was going to be criminals, and I think everyone at this table would agree. Criminals, fine. But a very important distinction was 60% of the American public, 2/3 of independents, 90% of Republicans, and just a little under half of Democrats think the crime is in being undocumented.
Even if it's a civil offense.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
that's
what I'm
true.
saying is a massive amount of this country actually agrees with not how he's doing it, but with what he's doing.
So there's
I think
misinformation out
the
there.
strategy here is he's leaning into a scene right now, creating a bigger thing, because it is the one thing that he remains supportive in.
Let's fix that right now, because it is not illegal to be undocumented. It is not a crime to be undocumented.
But what they're saying is the problem is that they
no,
are
but I'm just saying we need to put that information out there.
I don't
it is
think,
a civil infraction.
Yeah, and I don't
not
think
criminal.
it's actually broadly a misunderstanding. I think that 60% of Americans believe it's a civil offense, and that if you come here and you're undocumented, that you should be.
Also has spent the past 8 years running cover for illegals. Very, very concerned about children of illegals being separated from their families under President Trump. Under President Biden, did not appear to give two shits about it. I didn't see the lead NBC News report last week, as we heard about the number of them who are now being found in the hands of these so-called sponsors.
If we just take a look at the baseline numbers here, this is Trump's net approval rating on immigration. It's gone up like a rocket compared.
I believe you've seen what exactly is going on for people who usually complain, like, why are you putting videos after your clips? The last few minutes behind my videos, that is just for the YouTube algorithm, they hardly pick up videos on this channel for reasons I don't know. They don't recommend, so we struggle every single day to continue to put out videos. Please bear with me. If you see it, you can even stop here. No reason to even watch it to the end.
OGPA, he had
Who effing who?
People line up for my advice, and you're walking away like I'm stupid. It's like I've written books. I've given speeches.
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize? Not just us, like the Harvards and the MITs of the world. Look,
There are just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like I try to tell couples, of course it's hard. Just listen to what I said.
there's something wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed here, and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live.
Of Donald Trump's post this morning. Justice will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their...
I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Wrong. Oh, good.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one.
Because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything. And then
Registration Act is
talking about this man.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very...
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Carmelo Anthony case.
Live in the White House. Many people
like a little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't want to live around wretched black people.
From an employee, and they had a brother.
The Republican Party can get into a fist